Good morning, Flickin' Fanatics. It is your host, Jesse Swift, on a long-awaited episode of News and Views. We have some very exciting topics today. We get to talk about Charlie Cox coming back as Daredevil, as confirmed by Kevin Feige himself, a brand new Across the Spiderverse trailer, and confirmation that She-Hulk will in fact be CGI. So that is interesting. And of course, we'll wrap that up with what me and Scott Fox are watching and reading. And we start that right after this. Hello to Scott. Hello to our viewers. Hello to all of our listeners. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Flick and Reel. We are your source for news, reviews, and daily discourse. I'm your host, Jesse Swift, once again accompanied by Scott Fox. How's it going today, buddy?
I am fantastic. My Detroit Lions finally got a win yesterday. We are now 1-10-1, but we are no longer only defeated.
Well, I mean, sports ball. It's always exciting. So, guys, whether you are watching us on YouTube or listening to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast apps, and all of those are down in the description below, we are very happy that you're joining us today, and we cannot wait to share our thoughts with you. Thank you for always supporting us. You are the reason we keep doing this every day. And just a quick reminder, whether this is live or on replay, take a moment, subscribe to the channel here and also on Twitch if we're currently broadcasting on there, so that you don't miss any of our news breakdowns, late night ramblings, or like today, trailer reactions. I reacted to the, I believe, second and final trailer for Matrix Resurrections, and that was pretty mind-blowing. So after you're done watching this, click over and check that out.
Only 2 weeks away.
Oh, that's close, man. We were like,
it's really close.
We're really close to
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
We got Spider-Man and then followed next week by Matrix.
Tickets on sale now, by the way.
Yes.
So
good luck if you have not gotten your Spider-Man tickets.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
no, but the Matrix are on sale now as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but I tell you what, it's going to have a hard time trying to beat out Spider-Man on week 2.
That they should have pushed it back a week. They should have given Spider-Man at least 2 weeks of room.
Totally.
That's a whole topic for a whole nother day. If you guys want to support the channel, you will see down there in the link right there. Just a little, if you want to do a $1 Streamlabs, something small like that, it'd be really cool. We'll bring your question up to the top and answer that, and maybe help guide the conversation for the day. If you can't catch us and you are constantly on the go, then check out all those audio platforms. And we also have merch, as Scott is wearing right now. We got Flick and Reel t-shirts on TeePublic, and that link is in the description. But blah, 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 blah. You guys didn't come for all those plugs. What you came for is to talk about news and also for some Scott Fox and Jesse Swift trivia. So before we get into topics, let's bring down this overlay down to this version right here for a little bit. And Scott, do you want to go first?
That has been kind of our history. That I've launched us off, and then you
launch sauce. I would love some launch sauce. Dipping.
I'm gonna try and get my face to work here for a moment, and then you usually lambaste me with questions that I have no idea the answers to. But today,
I got some fun ones today.
A couple weeks ago, last time we did this, I gave you the option of Will Smith or Oscar Isaac, and you chose Oscar Isaac. So today,
I think I went 3 for 3.
You went 4 for 4. Yeah, I even gave you a bonus one. You knew that as well. So Will Smith is what you get today.
He's done movies.
A lot. Matter of fact, he has become quite renowned for doing biopics. So, can you name 3 biopics starring Will Smith or movies that may not be a biopic, but they were inspired by true stories? 3.
Okay. Ali. We all know Independence Day was a true story. No, Ali.
It's a government cover-up. It happened.
Pursuit of Happiness.
There you go. He played Chris Gardner, Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, King Richard.
King Richard.
Yeah.
He also played Bennett Omalu in Concussion.
Yes.
So
Concussion's a good one, yeah.
Thank you, Galaxy Geeks, for your comment down there. Will Smith,
thank you,
starred alongside Jack Black in what animated underwater adventure?
Okay, that's Shark Tale.
Yes. Well done. Well done. Shark Tale. There was a window of time when that was the #1 movie in our house because I have kids. And my older kids were younger then, and they loved that movie.
One of the only Martin Scorsese roles that I am aware of where he actually played in something. Yes. That man appears in Shark Tale and wants to critique comic book movies. Get all the way out of here. Leave.
It's a little ridiculous. All right. Last one.
Allison, I love the clarification there. She says, this was his first attempt at an Oscar win. She means Concussion, not Shark Tale.
Yeah, well, no. His first attempt at an Oscar win was Ali. He was nominated for Ali, but he did not win. But he was, I think the whole intention with doing, you're correct, with doing Concussion was, 1, to bring light to the story, but then 2, that had a lot of Oscar buzz going in. All right, last question. In I Am Legend, Will Smith's character, Neville...
The cat is trying to get outside violently.
Okay.
I Am Legend, you were saying?
In I Am Legend, Will Smith's character, Neville's only companion is his trusty German shepherd. As he navigates the zombie-filled Manhattan, what is his dog's name?
I really did not want that to be where this question was heading.
You're welcome.
His dog name is, allow me a quick Google search. No. Lucy.
Oh, that's so not even close. It's Sam, which is short for Samantha. That's his dog.
Stop. That doesn't sound familiar.
You're welcome. And now I'm prepared to get my butt kicked.
True. Yeah. Well, Scott, says, are you auditioning for a movie trivia Schmodown writer's job?
No, but I would love to do something like that. But I also hear the things that PJ writes, and it just blows my mind, the depth of knowledge that guy has of movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that, and the difference between the writers and the competitors is a little thing called Google.
Oh, totally. You can search random weird facts about a movie and not have to actually know it on top of your head.
All right. Before we get into my trivia questions for Scott here, we are, of course, today sponsored by a new but very lovely product, and that is Spot Popper. Spot Popper comes to us from those that it's when you want to pinch something on your husband's back and he finally tells you no. Spot Popper.
Oh man. So and that right along with all those ASMR videos on Facebook that you end up staring at for an hour.
All right, Scott. Hopefully this intimidates you immediately. Your trivia questions are Star Wars. And you have to tell me, I'm going to give you 4 names of something. You have to tell me which one is not real. So the categories are names, species, and planets. So we're going to have 1 question in each category, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 4
now,
names.
Hold on. Are these Star Wars universe as a whole, or these Star Wars movies, or Star Wars? Does this include Rebels, Clone Wars, all the extras?
It's Star Wars canon, mostly movies, but there will be some stuff that won't be.
I am as prepared as I can be at this moment.
Perfect. So I went 2 for 3, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
I missed Sam. Okay, so for names, and of course the chat, feel free to play along as well.
Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and move to private chat so I don't see any of that.
Let me know which one of these is not a real Star Wars name. Number 1, Kit Fisto. Number 2, Neen Nub. Number 3, Meat Beefstro. And number 4, Porkins.
Can you read one more time?
Yes. Is it number 1, Kit Fisto? Number 2, Neen Nub. Number 3, Meat Beefstro. Or 4, Porkins?
Oh man, it's between the second and the third one. And I want to say the third one is not Meat Bistro, or Beefstro is not.
Nope, that is completely fabricated by Jesse Swift. Meat Beefstro.
1 for 1. 1 for 1. I did not blank today. That's better than last time.
I gotta tell you though, if you look at some of the George Lucas names, Meat Beefstro would not surprise me in the slightest bit.
Nope.
All right, for species, this one's gonna be much harder.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which one of these is not a real species in the Star Wars universe? Is it number 1, a Yuzum, number 2, a Clawdite, number 3, a Sungog, or number 4, Chiss?
I just had this idea that maybe you're doing one of these weird psychological things where every answer is C or 3, but I don't think so. I'm going with the second option on this, number 2.
Clawdite?
Yeah.
A Clawdite is in fact a species in the Star Wars universe. I should have saved images of all these and bring them up, but you feel free to Google search a Clawdite. All right, so
what was the fake one?
The fake one was a Sungog. I came up with that after reading 50 gibberish names on Google. I was like, I'm going to come up with this one. It sounds just as
you should have just thrown a dart at an alphabet about 10 times, and whatever that landed on.
Yuzum, I believe, was a creature in Mos Eisley, and the Chiss is actually Grand Admiral Thrawn, is a member of the Chiss species. Yeah. Planets. Ready for this one? All right.
Yes, I'm actually ready for this one. Planets are a little easier for me.
Planet number 1, Harloff Minor. Planet 2, Agrathon. Planet 3, Dantooine. Or Planet 4, Christophsis.
I think it's the first one, the something minor.
Harloff Minor?
Yeah, is not correct.
Fun fact, Harloff Minor is in fact named after one Christian Harloff, chairman
I was going to go
the Schmodown, and is Star Wars canon.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
Because of the relationship that he made with one of the authors, Claudia Gray, author of The Lost Stars. It was included in one of the books. So Harloff Minor.
Oh, so it's a book canon. Oh man, that's deep. What was the fake? What was the fake one?
The fake one was Agrathon. Dantooine is brought up in New Hope.
I know Dantooine was real.
I don't know where that's from. I just found it on the list of planets.
Hey, 1 for 3. I'll take it.
You know what? those weren't fun. So don't feel too bad. All right, guys, let's get into the topics today and burn through them, because at 12 o'clock we're going to be running right into the Garfield verse video. So stay tuned for that. We're very excited. Scott says he's got some hot takes for us. But of course, this man right here, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Charlie Cox himself, has been confirmed by Kevin Feige to be returning to the screen. I would say to the MCU, but it was never crystal clear if he was in fact part of that. So let me pull up the article really quick. I got it right here. Well, yeah, right here.
I think it makes more sense for them to bring him back into a TV show series.
I agree, and we do have a.
Sorry, you lagged out really bad there for a second. I apologize.
Okay.
I think it makes. You're pixelated, but your audio is there. I think it just makes more sense for him to be in a like a Hawkeye style series, but done in Um, I just can't see where they plug him into a movie. Which iteration, unless they do a Daredevil movie, I think it just makes more sense for that to fit in with a series. They've already got 2 seasons or 3 seasons. Did Daredevil get 2 or 3?
Three seasons. I believe Bullseye came
So he's got
up.
3 seasons on the Netflix, but I think it makes more sense to intermix him in his own show, as opposed. I think it just makes more sense to intermix him in his own show. He's already got 3 seasons. I can't see where in a movie setting, apart from launching his own, where do you tie him in with all the other heroes? He makes more sense with like a Hawkeye type of thing.
There have been, and that is one of the options that I have in the poll here in the chat. So if you guys haven't already, please vote on that. But there has been, I'll be really vague about it, but there was like some leaks that came out that are hard to quantify whether they're real or not, that suggest maybe an appearance in No Way Home. And even before that, a lot of us were speculating, well, being accused of murder, Spider-Man's going to need a real good attorney. And who's the best attorney we know is Matt Murdock. Does Matt Murdock show up in No Way Home? And I think that's been a very popular prevailing theory. I'm a fan of it. I like it a lot. But that is not, Daredevil centric, Daredevil focused. Where do we see him suit up again? We might just only see Matt Murdock if he shows up in No Way Home. Like you said, in a series, do we see him show up in Moon Knight, Hawkeye? Are we going to She-Hulk?
Attorney versus attorney.
Yes, absolutely. That is a show all around law. And I believe also taking place in New York. How would you not have Matt Murdock in that show? It makes so much sense.
I can't believe I didn't tie that together before I just said that. Sometimes inspiration just hits at the right time.
So this is obviously very exciting, and I'll brief spoiler warning. If you guys haven't seen Hawkeye episode 3, just mute for about a minute, 60 seconds. And here's your warning. Okay, so in episode 3, we're pretty sure we see Wilson Fisk Kingpin, and we're also relatively confident that it's going to be Vincent D'Onofrio. And so it looks like Kevin Feige, somebody that we never thought would play with anyone else's toys, is starting to reach into that sandbox and pull from the Daredevil verse. Are we going to see Karen Page? John Bernthal has said he is not interested in doing a watered down Punisher. So, is there any opportunity for that? Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones, Mike Coulter, Luke Cage. Is it just going to be Daredevil? I'm okay with that, but I'm just wondering, now that the door's opening, what are they going to choose to pull through?
Again, a series makes more sense for all of those characters, especially because they've been established in series. And because he has everything at his disposal, he can cherry pick. Maybe he brings some of the characters in. But trying to have one large cohesive universe, Spider-Man opening that up to a multiverse, there could be different iterations, but I think that gets really confusing for people. And so I think it makes more sense to have to intermix any of those characters in. And if you're going to bring Kingpin in, taking D'Onofrio is fantastic. And so pulling him into the zeitgeist for the MCU just makes more sense. And having his character already established, you pull him in, and that also further opens the door for other people to come in by bridging the gap.
I think it's really exciting news, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen because But what Feige said is he said, should we see Daredevil, it will be Charlie Cox, and that is the most confirmation we've ever had.
Yeah, should we see him, it will be.
Yeah, which
is meaning that if he's planning it, this is the guy he plans to go forward with. Perfect.
Yeah, otherwise, they would have just said that we don't have any direct plans for Daredevil. It absolutely seemed like confirmation. The confirmation's trending and all that good stuff. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the conversation about Daredevil. Let me know what you guys think about it. Are you excited? Where do you think we'll see him? Vote on that poll. And we have Sean Wingblade, one of our other co-hosts, popping up here.
Quick note, going back, because we were just talking about Hawkeye, go back and check out the video of you guys' breakdown last week of Hawkeye episode 3. Totally worth
with
viewing.
Pat from the really multiverse, just really awesome breakdown of trick arrows and all the
Oh
insights of
man,
archery and stuff like that.
I love that. Now I get the plunger arrow.
All right, before we move into one of our next main topics, we do have breaking news, and the breaking news is that Marvel has just confirmed that they are going into production on Shang-Chi 2, bringing back the director. Let me make sure I get the name correct. Yeah, I was going to get the first name wrong. Daniel Cretton returning to do Shang-Chi 2. And we did see at the end of the movie, it's that the 10 Rings will return. And so I wasn't sure if that was going to be a Shang-Chi film or they were going to do like a 10 Rings show or something like that. Scott, how much did you like Shang-Chi? Are you excited about this news? Do you want to see more with Simu Liu and all the characters introduced in that movie?
I'll be honest, this is not a surprise. The movie's fantastic. I think it's currently rated both audience and critic at over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is incredibly well received. It would have been more of a shock if they had said they weren't moving forward with a sequel. I mean, you don't have a movie that domestically and globally pushes the $1 billion mark and then not follow it up. Just it's I'm in my opinion, this was a foregone conclusion. I'm glad that they announced it so we know, but it's news and it's cool that it just got announced. But it's not news, and then in that like anybody shocked by them wanting to make a sequel for Shang-Chi.
News in quotes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like thank you for
Marvel
confirming what we
Studios
already know.
continues to print money.
Yeah, it's weird. Disney likes making things that make money. Wouldn't have guessed that from that company.
Speaking of, Disney has a new chairman in place now, so Bob Chapek is going to have someone to answer to. Bob Iger stepping out, so that's interesting.
Now, did they? No, you know what? I'll get off on a different tangent, and we don't need to
That's
talk
a whole
about.
that's a whole nother thing.
Yep.
Sean Wingblade correcting in the chat. This is why I was confused. He says Dustin Daniel Cretton. So in my head, I thought it was Dustin Cretton. So that is. Thank you so much for that correction there, buddy. Okay, so excited for Shang-Chi 2. Now, we've had a couple trailers in the last couple days, but the one we want to talk about today is Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, which was definitely a teaser. It wasn't a full-blown trailer. We got a little scene of Gwen Stacy popping down through a portal and talking with Miles, and they did age up the characters seemingly kind of realistically. It's going to be, by the time this movie comes out, it will have been about 4 to 5 years since the last one came out. So they did age them up a little bit. The animation is beautiful again, and we get to see the introduction of a whole new style when they bring in Spider-Man 2099, which we know is going to be voiced by Oscar Isaac once again. How do you feel about the tone? Are you excited to see what's going to be coming with this movie?
I love the alternate animation of the universe they slip into. You can see a little bit of the alternate animation when Gwen Stacy comes through to Miles's universe, and then when they fall through to the next one, we see Miles just falling through the air, having to try and then use his web slinging to catch himself, and then gets blindsided by Spider-Man 2099 just smashing him. And for a teaser, again, we knew this movie was coming. We knew it was in the works. I am so glad they bridged over to Spider-Man 2099. It's such a cool storyline series, different version of Spider-Man with different type of technology because it's more forward in the future. It looks awesome. I was really excited by it. That teaser did a lot, and the animation changes between the different areas. I don't know how you can not love the styles that they throw into these movies. Spider-Man is right now. It feels like Spider-Man is doing everything right across all the versions.
We got No Way Home. We got a new game coming out. We have an animated series on Disney Plus, and we have the sequel to Academy Award winning Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
It's all very exciting stuff. It's a good time to be a Spider fan. And then we got the Montyverse.
Yes.
We got Multiverse, Spider-Verse, and Montyverse. If you guys aren't already following Montyverse on YouTube, please do that. This guy does phenomenal breakdowns. We're going to definitely plan on having him on the show more often. Great insights there. All right. Well, clipping right along here. let's move on to our third topic here, and that is that She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany, that is playing She-Hulk in the Disney Plus series, has confirmed that the character will in fact be a completely CGI creation, which we got a little tiny peek during Disney Plus Day, and it was just pretty much a green leg, and I was like, wow, that looks like paint, which is it's kind of cool. It looks very practical. And she says it's going to be completely CGI. She says, I am in a mocap suit with like stilts, and there's the head, so you can tell like how tall the person is. So it's going to be a complete transformation.
It's basically they're doing it the same way they did Mark Ruffalo. They're putting him in the suit that has the extra bulk so he can position himself so they have a frame of reference. Then they have the front-facing camera that's right here to show all their facial expressions so they can graft that onto the CGI. The motion capture technology now is so good, and then they can CGI lace over the top of it, that I'm not really shocked that this is what they're doing. It makes more sense because scale is one of the hardest things to correct camera-wise without taking a mountain of time to reshoot everything from really weird angles, weird setups, and then it's hard to maintain. Whereas with CGI, you can be a little more consistent with it without having to organize every shot into a really weird angle to get it right. And it's so easy to get wrong when you do that. We can look at the Dark Knight Rises and the inconsistency with scale of Bane as a reason why CGI sometimes is the better option. And it's the CGI they do now is so clean versus what we had 15 years ago that it makes sense. Why not do it? You can make it look realistic. Mark Ruffalo looked fantastic in Endgame, and that worked out great.
Yeah, and I'm excited for this. I think that what's kind of surprised me, I guess, is this show is going to be really expensive, because unless they kind of change something up, Jennifer Walters doesn't go back and forth, I think, as much as like the Hulk does. She kind of like stays in like She-Hulk form most of the time. So I'm wondering how it's going to look and how much money they're going to spend on the show. I know it's going to be kind of comedy based, but I look forward to seeing some action in it too.
Well, we know that if you're doing heavy CGI, a huge portion of the budget of a movie can get wrapped up in that. But if you're having more of, I guess it depends on how much action she's going to be doing versus how much cerebral. Like if she's in court, it makes more sense. And I like Monty's comment down here. He kind of echoing what I said. The Ruffalo was so good, and that because it's an official Feige MCU product, they're not going to put crap on the screen. They don't do that.
I can't stand you with your pronunciation of Kevin Feige.
Feige, sorry, I'll correct it this one time, but I'm never saying it right again.
It's Feige.
Feige. But yeah, I have full faith that the quality product, the look is going to be right on exactly what they want. And if they're doing more practical on everything else and low key, then they can divert those funds.
No, this
into
is She-Hulk, not Loki.
Low, Lowkey.
And a space in there somewhere, probably.
Yes. All
right. Well, moving on from that, wrapping up we're at record speed. We're hitting.
Yeah, we never go this
here.
fast.
That's right. Well, we got things to prepare for. We got to
break the one rule. We got to break it right now.
That's right.
With my sloppy running technique. Look out.
All right, Scott. I'm going to let you...
Did he ever even look at an Olympic sprinter? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they need to put Usain Bolt in a mocap suit and be like, this is Barry Allen. All right, guys. We're going to finish up this episode with what we are reading and watching. The watching for both of us is probably a little obvious for starters, because we've both probably been watching some of the Amazing Spider-Man content, so we can do a conversation once again. Half hour from now, we're going to be entering the Garfield verse, so stay tuned for that. But Scott, what have you been up to?
Well, as far as reading, went through the Giver series and kind of re-listened to the audiobooks on all the Giver series. I had only ever read the Giver when I was in school, and then my wife told me there's actually a 4-book series on that, so I downloaded and listened to them. It's the Giver, Gathering Blue, Messenger, and Sun. All by Lois Lowry. Really good books. And the story ties between all 4 as you get through them. And then I also just finished listening to Life Together, a book written by Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was a German pastor during World War II who helped try to coordinate a plot to assassinate Hitler, of all the things that you wouldn't necessarily assume a pastor would do. But theologically, a very rich book. And watching literally everything Spider-Man right now. The Toby-verse, the Andrew-verse, rehashing the Tom-verse or Holland-verse for next week.
I'm tempted to go and start watching the 90s series again.
Oh, yeah. Well, the animated stuff, there's so much good stuff out there. But Into the Spider-Verse, I rewatched that with my kids this week. They love Miles Morales. In their mind, Miles is more Spider-Man than Peter, which is awesome. You got a new generation coming up with their favorite version. My daughter loves Gwen Stacy or Ghost Spider. There's the animated ones on Disney Plus that they've been watching, and they really love that with the little kid versions of them. And lastly, obviously Hawkeye, and then Christmas movies. It's Christmas season, and The Muppet Christmas Carol is my favorite Christmas movie, and it's tradition. We watch it every year, so that's kind of what I've been marinating in for the last week or two.
Well, my favorite Christmas movie is Jingle All the Way, and Arnold Schwarzenegger has the acting prowess of a Muppet, so
it's on par.
Yeah,
it's on par, but he pulls off the suit nicely.
Yes, it's a real nice skin suit.
Is that lycra or spandex?
All right, so things that I have been watching, I don't have any real surprises for anyone. I've been watching Spider-Man, and the last time I went to theaters, I went and saw Encanto, which is just chef's kiss. What a phenomenal movie. And I do have my Encanto review here on the channel. You can check that out. Nice and short, easily digestible. It's probably about like 9 minutes. Great music. I think it's possibly the best Disney animated film maybe in the last 10 years. I loved this movie. I've been listening to the soundtrack ever since, and it's been a long time since I've done that with a Disney movie. Usually you kind of pick and choose. Like in the Frozen movies, it's like, oh, I like this song. I don't like these two, but I like this one. Encanto is just on repeat, the whole movie. So if you guys haven't seen that, go out and see that. I haven't been listening to much lately or reading anything other than flipping a few more pages in Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, trying to get a little more versed into what's going to possibly happen in the show and make some predictions.
So one quick thing about Hawkeye. Last night we were, my wife and I caught up on episode 3, and it was so well done. And my wife actually asked me, she goes, is this kind of like they want this to be a every year tradition to watch this show for Christmas? Because they layer the Christmas theme so heavy throughout. You know, the I'll be home for Christmas theme is in every episode. He checks in with his kids and it's I'll be home. I will be there. If they don't deliver on him getting home for Christmas at the end of this show and have that emotional tear-jerking moment when he gets to surprise his kids at home, they will have missed on the greatest opportunity for this show. I don't care whatever the heroes they tie in.
They did choke me up personally a little bit. I guess that's another thing I've been watching is Hawkeye, but the last episode with the doing the translation between Kate and Clint and his son, rough.
That did so much good for bridging the relationship between those two and to helping that kind of form, almost to the point of where he can lean on her a little bit for help. Whereas he's trying to treat it like he's helping her. He doesn't need her at all. He's just trying to keep her alive. That's it. And then there's these little things where she can actually be an aid. And he even admits that she's one of the world's best archers. Like, yeah. But again, you guys did a fantastic review last week. You can see that. But my wife was hilariously wondering if this is going to turn into the next Die Hard thing, where is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? Which it is.
Well, Hawkeye is 100%.
And Hawkeye is definitely a Christmas show.
It's even in the marketing.
Yeah,
not negotiable.
Every song, the background music in every scene is a Christmas tune.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good.
One thing I was going to add on here and do an actual projection of something I will be watching is this Thursday night / Friday, West Side Story comes out, directed by Steven Spielberg, and the reviews for the film have been absolutely glowing. So me and my wife are very excited to get to see that. I don't know if we will see it Thursday or Friday, but definitely before the weekend, definitely before you see me again, and I will, I'm sure, have a review either on our audio channel or on here for West Side Story. Planning on crying.
Oh,
Doing that a lot lately.
and Spielberg is, it's going to be quality when it hits the screen. Whether it wins a bunch of awards or not, we'll see. That the Academy loves musicals.
This has been a year for musicals, also, by the way. Encanto, In the Heights, Tick Tick Boom, and now West Side Story. It's
I think it's pretty safe to say that
musicals
probably Encanto will most likely win Best Animated Movie Oscar. I'd be hard pressed to find a different one this year.
Probably, I think so. It should.
I mean, there's
musical's
been
going to be tough though. Like, there's no clear front runner for Best Musical of the Year, just out of what I've seen, and there's others out there too.
Real quick, Montyverse, trick arrows, the tinsel arrow, mistletoe arrow. It's got to be in his bag somewhere. It's got to be in there.
Absolutely. That's love it. All right. So with that, we managed to wrap up all of this, even with an extra topic, in less than 40 minutes. That's impressive. So that means we get to take a little break before we roll into the next show. So thank you guys very much for joining us today on News and Views. It's been a while. We've had power outages. There's been vacations and whatnot, and all kinds of things keeping us from doing this. But we're looking at being back on track. And just a reminder, we could not be here without our sponsor, Spot Popper. Thank you so much, Spot Popper, for bringing the show today. All right. So until next time, guys, keep it real, and we will see you as we enter the Garfield verse in just a few minutes, being 30. So catch you later, and bye-bye.